This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Stephanie's in the ring.
And she looks very school teacher here.
Yeah, I was going to say that. She's dressed very conservative
yes.
here today.
She's got the teacher skirt and the nice, shirt up to the neck and the loafers. And here comes Test in his black leather pants, making his way down to the ring, showing off those dimples. And we're going to have a little bit of a interaction here, it appears.
Yeah, this is the entertainment side of sports entertainment. Some people really like it, and some people really don't.
After weeks of she's finally accepting Test's proposal for marriage. With Russo leaving not long after this, did this unfold exactly how you knew the original plan was? Triple H getting in there and marrying Stephanie? Was that the...
I had no idea what the original plan was, Paul. Again, I don't need to know these things. See, guys like you that are fans,
that's true. Yeah.
You're obsessed with knowing more. It's just, you can't help it. I understand. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
But I didn't give a shit because it didn't affect me.
Right.
I was going to call what I saw on the monitor. So I don't know what the end result was.
But that's better for us anyway, because we don't want you to know. We want you to react to it.
That's what I think. And
I agree.
I will not know one finish when we get to Chicago.
And that's what makes it more real when it comes across the screen. And now we have a lip sesh, a makeout sesh, as the kids say, going on between Test and Stephanie. And here comes the...
There's two very powerful lip locks right there.
There was.
And here come the Mean Street Posse.
Yep, with Shane McMahon, and they are tearing apart.
Shane's trying to get his sister to safety. All these guys.
What was Test's potential in your mind at this point?
Well, I don't know if he had the potential to be as good as he looks. He had a certain point where he kind of leveled off, and there's a lot of ways you can look at why that happened. I know Mick Foley knows how to throw a chair. He hit more people with chairs than I guess anybody in WWE history.
Goodness.
So it's a family dispute on the outside about Shane's intervention as it relates to his potentially new brother-in-law.
We had Mankind make his way down to the ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We were jamming about 15 characters into 30 minutes of segment work here. It's Vince Russo, Crash TV at its finest, and the Stooges and Mankind brawling against Shane and the Posse. And I'm assuming this is the Shane versus Mankind match that they promoted earlier. It's about to go down here.
And Mick was getting really hot about that time.
Yeah.
And Shane was doing what all good heels do. They retreat. They regroup. And you don't rush things. So now we're looking at somebody's head. Indention someone's head is in a Foley's steel chair. I guess you didn't ask, did he lay them in? You got a perfect head print on the seat of a steel chair.
Well, I'm going to bring this up now. I think this is a good point to do so. At the moment SmackDown debuts, you have the WWF with Raw and SmackDown Jacked and various other magazine shows. WCW has Nitro and Thunder, Saturday Night, and various syndication shows like Worldwide. Then you got ECW. They're debuting on TNN the very next night, by the way, and still running their syndication shows. Just 2 weeks ago, AEW debuted Dynamite in Pittsburgh. When is too much product overexposure, and is this a fear you have with Dynamite and Rampage both being on the scene? Do you feel like...
Yeah, we debuted Rampage 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Dynamite's been around, as you know. I just think it's good for the fans. I mean, you select what you want to watch. And, if you're not going to watch something, you don't need to cut promos on social media while you're not watching. Just leave it alone and support everything. As I mentioned earlier, it's just so much easier to promote what we all love and not take a political stance. I've often looked at that thing, the same thing about getting vaccinated. It's become a political issue, and for what reason, I have no clue. I really don't know. Now they're over amongst Lawler and I, Mick and Shane. You know, Lawler would love to get involved. Lawler would much rather wrestle on a show as a broadcast one. He'd rather be in the opening match of WrestleMania than to call WrestleMania. Yeah, the nice thing about Mick always made Shane look better than Shane's skill level was at that point in time. That shows you how good Mick is at breaking down an opponent, getting the best out of them. Don't take them anywhere they can't return from. He's executing, because Shane can take a flat back bump really, really well, and you're seeing a great deal of those flat back bumps now. This issue between these two guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Flat back bumps, and man, the guy became, and as continuing on in his career, just became known as a human highlight reel and a bump machine. Yeah. So much respect for that kid.
Yeah, man, me too. You could tell he got good. He was taught well by the late Dominic DiNucci, who just passed away several days ago. That was Mick's coach. Now Tess is back up. He'll get a chance to become a hero and even the odds.
Here they come. Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe, and they're throwing fists.
Thing about it, Patterson, even he was in his 60s here, I'm guessing, or late 50s at least. He could still throw a good punch. Pat was just a consummate worker. Now Stephanie's got a rear naked choke on Pete Gass, who lives here in Jacksonville, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Tess coming back in. Shane dropping something, an arm, elbow, a fist on Mick. And somewhere the announcer saying, there's action everywhere. Then, of course, we're supposed to say, and that's why this is SmackDown, or something like that. Just let it happen. Just let the audience dictate who they're going to cheer, who they're not going to cheer. And, of course, Mr. Sacco. It's amazing how much merchandise you sell when you got a great idea, and it's nothing more than a tube sock.
Right.
Engraved with a magic marker. Sharpie or whatever the hell.
Now, if you're keeping score at home, China runs down. She's back now in the heel roll, distracting, as Triple H would use the chair on Mick, and Shane would get the win.
I feel strongly that saving money is important. You know, if it's not something we worry about now, boy, we are really going to worry about it later. And I want to help you get out of debt faster and do it with cheaper monthly payments. I'm talking to you if you're in a 30-year loan. Now is the time to take years off of your loan. We're routinely helping our listeners cut 5, 10, even 15 years off their loan, and you can do this without perfect credit with no money out of pocket. You've just got to start at savewithconrad.com.
That's the crazy part, trying to keep up with all the creative here that's going on. And I think that's to my point earlier, talking about all the shows and all the content and keeping everything coordinated and flowing the right way. It's probably a bit of a challenge.
You know, Vince was upset that, that Lawler and I weren't telling the stories he wanted to hear, especially me, apparently. But he always knew that he could rip on my ass and I wouldn't care. But he dared not ever do that to Lawler, because Lawler did not take an ass chewing very well whatsoever, and would not have been around long if that had occurred. Now Jericho and Howard are leaving in a Taurus. The doors are locked.
Jericho got away. Finkel did not, and I'm assuming at this point Shamrock has him. Finkel probably just shit himself. And the network debut on TV is off and running when someone shits himself, and that's exactly what happened as he fell down.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.